Wano is over, the Straw Hat bounties have been released, and they're pretty crazy. As you all know, chapter 1058 of One Piece has just been released, and with it came the bounties of a ton of characters like Mihawk, Buggy, Crocodile, but for the sake of this video, we're going to be solely focusing on the Straw Hat bounties. And this is because all the way back in January of this year, I posted a video predicting the bounties of the Straw Hat crew after the Onigashima raid. And today we are going to be seeing how accurate or inaccurate these bounties were. And obviously if you're an anime only or you're not caught up with the manga, then this video will contain spoilers, so if you're not into that, then click off. First off, I think it's fitting to start off with the captain of the crew, Straw Hat Luffy, whose bounty was actually revealed a couple chapters ago, but obviously I didn't want to make the video until all the Straw Hats had their bounties. And this one's pretty crazy because Luffy's bounty before Wano was 1.5 billion berries. I predicted that it would double to 3 billion. Because, you know, Luffy had that 30 million bounty, he had that 300 million bounty, so I think it only makes sense for him to have that 3 bill bounty. And it happened. Luffy, I was so hyped when I first saw the chapter. It was like 2 or 3 chapters ago. Luffy has a bounty of 3 billion now. I hit that one like exactly on the mark. And a lot of people thought that his new bounty would be 5.6 billion, but for me, I just couldn't see that happening because one, Kaido was way lower than that. He was like 4 billion. And two, like CP Zero and everyone, they know that like there was a big like group effort in terms of defeating Kaido. And that video was recorded before Gear 5, so I did not know that Luffy was, you know, any of that stuff. And I think that would be a reason as to why his bounty should be a little higher. But at the same time, I don't think the government really wants people knowing that Luffy is like Gear 5 and like Nika and all that stuff. But at the same time, his bounty picture's literally Gear 5. But next is Zoro, and I think I'm gonna go with Zoro and Sanji at the same time. I did the same thing in the last video, and that's because I gave them the same bounty prediction of 1.5 billion. Zoro has an old bounty of 320 billion, Sanji has 330 million, and you know, Zoro and Sanji have kind of like flip-flop between who's the higher bounty. And I thought, okay, you know, we're heading into the final war, so I think it's fitting for them to be at equal status finally. But that did not happen. And King and Queen's bounties, they were 1.4-ish billion, I think, which is why I gave them just a little bit higher, because, you know, that's usually the pattern that goes with Zoro and Sanji and their opponents. But their new bounties are a little bit lower than I was expecting, which is kind of weird. Because Marco did help some in damaging King and Queen. Also, Chopper got that one hit in. Man, I'm going to get the Chopper later. But I thought, you know, they did carry most of the battles on their back. So I thought their bounties would have been at least more than King and Queen's. But no, Zoro has a new bounty of 1.11 billion. Sanji's is 1.032 billion. Which Zoro's back on top again. So yeah, you know, I'm a Zoro fan, so I guess I should be happy. But I don't know. I really thought Sanji should have gotten a higher bounty. I mean, he has like the Germa stuff. The one thing that makes me think that Zoro like deserves a higher bounty is just because he has Conqueror's Haki, which the government might fear just a little bit. But like, one, do they even know that? And two, Sanji also has like all the Germa like boosts and stuff, so it's like, I don't know. And let's talk about Jinbei too. Jinbei, he had an old bounty of 438 million. I gave him a boost of 150 million, which in hindsight I guess is a little bit low because his new bounty is 1.1 billion, which is more than Sanji's. I mean, Sanji already had a lower bounty than Jinbei, but like, I don't know. I thought that, man, because Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, they're the monster trio, but I don't know. I guess maybe it's just because the government knows more about Jinbei and his powers and how dangerous he is. And he's also very intelligent, and him being on the crew of an emperor is probably pretty scary. But man, I did not expect that much of a boost, especially because Oda didn't even try putting Jinbei on the same pedestal of Sanji, or like especially Zoro, you know. So he fought a Tobi Roppo member, you know. Nami and Usopp fought a Tobi Roppo member, so it's like, you know, Zoro and Sanji fought like all-stars. That one was probably like my least accurate prediction. Jinbei was like way more than I expected. And now let's move on to the kind of association berry increases, because I predicted that some of the Straw Hats, even though they didn't really do all too much in the raid, would get an increase just because they're now on the crew of an emperor, and you know, Luffy did all this stuff and they're associated with Luffy. Because in Dressrosa, everyone got an increase of, I believe, 50 million. So I thought, okay, that was for defeating a warlord. I think the same thing's gonna happen, but with 100 million. So Nami, I predict will go from 66 to 166 million. Usopp from 200 to 300. Frankie from 94 to 194, and Brook from 83 to 283. And you'll notice that Brook was different. Brook, I gave an increase of 200, not 100 million. That's because I made the prediction that Brook would get a fight with the CP0 members, which obviously did not happen. You know, I thought there was a reason for him escorting Robin, you know, that entire portion of the story, and that he would do something with CP0. And, you know, that's the government. If you mess with the government, you're going to get an increase. But no, he didn't. So, but I was right about the association increases. I was not right about the amounts. Nami's new bounty is 366 million, a 300 million berry increase. And that same pattern goes on to the other three. Usopp's new bounty is 500 million, Frankie's new bounty is 394 million, and Brook's new bounty is 383 million. So Brook's, I was a little close because I was only 100 million off, which is, as I'm saying that, not that close. But Frankie, Usopp, and Nami, I was like 200 million off. So I had the right idea, just not really the right execution when predicting. And now let's move on to Chopper. We all know Chopper's, you know, gag of having a really low bounty. But I was like, okay, we're moving on to the final wars and all that stuff. So maybe the government's finally going to treat him seriously. He was the one who cured all the ice Onis, and he was a major reason as to why a lot of Kaido's army switched to the Alliance's side. A lot of people don't give Chopper enough credit for that because he was the one who made the cure for the virus. He saved like so many lives. He slapped Queen, which is, you know, something. And he did get probably the biggest like increase in terms of multiplication. He got a 10 times berry increase, which is like, hey, that's pretty cool. Yeah, his new bounty is 1,000. I made two predictions, a serious and a gag prediction. The gag was 150, which I was off. And the real prediction was 150 million. Because I thought, you know, maybe Chopper can get at least a little bit of respect. He did not get any respect. And all that, like Luffy's bounty of being 3 billion, and Chopper's low bounty, and Zoro and Sanji not being even, that all leads me to think that this is not going to be the last bounty increase. I feel like Luffy's going to get that 5.6, Zoro and Sanji are going to be even, Chopper's going to get an actual bounty, like at some point in the future. Whether that's going to be when Luffy finds the One Piece, when the final war breaks out, when something happens, when Luffy beats Shanks, maybe, I don't know. But a lot of people argue that after this final war, the bounty system is going to be abolished, and so there aren't going to be any new bounties. I think this is definitely not going to be the case, just because these bounties are kind of weird. But now let's move on to Robin, which I kind of hit the mark here. Robin's old bounty is 130 million. And you know, I gave 100 million increases to all the other members, which was obviously wrong, but that was my association increase. So Robin, I should have predicted 230 million, but I did not predict that. I predicted 1 billion berries. Cause like she fought Tobiropo, but it's not her strength that's impressive. It's the fact that she can read poneglyphs, and Luffy's crew is getting dangerously close to reaching Laugh Tale. So I was like, the world government has to treat her with at least a little bit more respect now. And there's obviously that entire subplot in the raid of trying to get Robin. So I was like, please give her just a little bit of a higher bounty, please. And they did not disappoint. They gave her a 930 million. So they kept the 30, which I get. But instead of giving her an increase of 300 million, they gave her an increase of 800 million, which is still like a lot. But I was pretty close. 930 million to 1 billion. That's a 70 million difference. And you know, when you're getting up here, that's like not that big of a difference. So overall, I think I had some of the right ideas for some of the characters, but I was definitely pretty off. And we were pretty knee deep into the raid at that point. I don't think anything happened after I made that video aside from like Gear 5 that would have really like influenced my decisions on the bounties. And also Brook not taking on CP0, that was also a big thing. But yeah, I guess I overestimated Zoro and Sanji and then underestimated pretty much everyone else. But anyway, what are you guys' thoughts on the new bounty? Do you think they're too large, too small? I think overall, I'm pretty content with them. I do think we are due for another increase after the war and after all the stuff with Blackbeard, Shanks, you know, who knows, Elbaf, you know, Big Mom maybe, because it's weird because it seemed like she was gonna come back and she probably will at some point at the same time, she's kind of dead. I don't know. But like, if she's not dead, then I don't think Kaido should be dead either. So like, will Kaido come back? I doubt it, but that would be kind of cool. But yeah, I like the bounties. In terms of Wano ending, I think there was a lot of, looking back, there were so many plot points that Oda just like couldn't really wrap up. Like, I really wanted to know more about Zoro. I really thought that was something that we would get more expansion on. Also, Yamato's backstory, and oh my god, Yamato not joining the crew. Don't even get me started. I'm glad I didn't put a Yamato prediction in there, because even back then I thought Yamato was joining for sure, but ooh, she did not do that, and people are kind of upset. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.